page 144. Questions 6 through 11. Listen to part of a lecture in a psychology class.
Today we're going to review the characteristics of sleep in both humans and animals. We talked about this some in the last class, and you should have done the reading, so this should all be clear to you. First of all, what are the main characteristics of sleep? Let's talk about this diagram. What happens to the human body when a person is sleeping? Can you start this off for us, Pam?
Well, during sleep, the muscles relax, both breathing and heart rate slow down, and brain waves change.
Exactly. So I'm going to want to elaborate on the subject of muscle tone in just a minute. I have an interesting example to illustrate my points about it, but for now let's stick with brain waves. Okay, so let's look at this drawing of brainwave patterns. Ron, can you explain how brainwaves change?
I think so. The brain of a person who's awake and relaxed gives off, about 10 small waves per second, like in the drawing near the middle, but it's different in deep sleep.
What's different about deep sleep?
Well, I think that in deep sleep, the brainwaves become much slower and larger, like in the drawing on the left.
Well, you don't sound very sure of your answers, Ron, but you got them exactly right. Brain waves are the slowest and largest during the first few hours of a period of sleep. This is called the period of slow wave sleep. Are brain waves always large and slow during sleep? Nancy?
No. There are periods of small and fast waves at intervals during a period of sleep. These short and fast waves are similar to the brain waves of a person who's awake.
And what happens to the eyes during these periods of fast brain activity? Pam?
The sleeper's eyes move really fast. This is called rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep.
Yes, Pam, you've got it. And what other name does the period of REM sleep have?
It's called dreaming sleep because this is when people dream.
Yes, that's right. Okay, now, can you tell me about muscle tone during REM sleep?
Well, the muscles are relaxed throughout sleep, but during REM sleep, muscle tone decreases even more.
Good. Can anyone tell me why this is?
Well, if you're dreaming, you probably don't want to be acting out all of what you're doing in your dreams, like if you're running or playing soccer. So your muscles have to relax.
Precisely, and this isn't in the book. But there are actually sleep disorders where this repression of movements is weakened and you end up moving around in your sleep. This is also the explanation behind the fact that sleepwalking does not usually occur during REM sleep. Sounds strange, right? It turns out that people are most likely to sleepwalk during deep sleep, when brain waves are much slower. At that time, the repression of movements present during REM sleep is absent. Okay, that's probably enough about muscle tone, but let me just recap what we said about brainwaves before we go on to discuss them in another context. So, we've seen that when a person sleeps, there are different types of brainwave activity. There are periods of large, slow brainwaves during deep sleep, and there are periods of small, fast brainwaves during REM, or dreaming sleep. Now we're going to compare human sleep patterns with those of certain animals. What can you tell me about the sleep patterns of mammals? Ron?
Mammals seem to experience true sleep, with changes in brainwave patterns. That means that they have periods of dreaming sleep and periods of slow wave sleep.
And what about reptiles and fish? Nancy?
Reptiles also experience sleep with changes in brainwave patterns, but they don't seem to have periods of dreaming sleep. Fish have periods when they become less aware of their surroundings, but there's no scientific evidence of changes in brainwaves.
Excellent. And for the record, the animals we've discussed today make up only a small fraction of all the animals on our planet that dreams while sleeping. Now, Pam, let's see if you can summarize the information for us. Which types of animals seem to experience changes in brainwaves while they're sleeping?
Humans, of course, and also mammals, birds, and reptiles. Fish don't seem to experience changes in brain waves.
Good. So what about periods of dreaming?
Again, humans obviously experience periods of dreaming, and most mammals seem to experience the same type of dreaming, with periods of dreaming sleep and periods of slow wave sleep. Birds may experience short periods of dreaming, but reptiles and fish don't.
Well, it seems all of you have a very clear understanding at this point. Okay. Now I'd like to discuss some specific sleep disorders in more detail.